Hello YouTube, I welcome you to this fine video. So no uploads in about a month, but I think I will start to upload a bit more. Anyways, this video will be kind of a different one. This video will not contain gameplay, but I will go through my thought process while making a new deck that... I have a few ideas for the deck, but not too many. So you can see how I create decks, and maybe it will help you guys to get better at building your own decks. Another thing, I will upload gameplay videos of this deck later, but first I want you to comment on this video and see if you just like to see other cards added, and maybe we can work from there. So you actually have a bit of choice here, like what you want me to have in the deck, or yeah, just general things that I may have forgotten, right? So anyways, let's jump right into the deck creation, I guess, and I'll see you soon. Okay, here we are. So first and foremost, select format friendly Brawl. We want this to be a historic deck, and the commander of the day will be Snappy. King Caesar, Awoken Titan. Let's do it like this. So the commander will be Snapdax, Apex of the Hunt, and I think there are like multiple ways how you can like create the deck. So things to note from this bad boy are it's a cat and a dinosaur, so cat and dinosaur tribal may be good, but dinosaur tribal really wants green, and cat tribal really needs Amonkhet, and that is not on arena yet. So those fall into the water, and so we are left with two choices, I believe. The first one is Mutate, but since there is only one set with Mutate, and I don't think Mutate is too good yet, especially in these colors. So we are left with pure aggro, and this is what we are going to build. So when I build a deck, I like to go to collected and not collected, turn both of those on so I see all my options. And so we kind of need to think about what makes this commander good, and we want to play around him. One example of this is we are an aggro deck and we want to curve out. But since this is a 4-drop, we actually don't need to put any 4-drops in our deck. Well, almost no 4-drops at all. Like, if a 4-drop is really good for a deck, we will play it, right? But in general, we try to avoid 4-drops to increase the consistency of the deck to draw everything else, because we already have the 4-drop in the command zone. Another thing is, there will be games where we want to mutate this. Like, I don't think we want to force to mutate, like, it's just a good creature on its own. So what that basically means is we don't avoid humans just because there are humans. Two humans I already thought of that I really want to include in the deck because I want to go in a bit more Staxy direction are Drannith Magistrate, because this just straight up like doesn't allow them to play their commander at all. It also like doesn't allow them to cast jumpstart spells, and it's also really annoying for adventure. Like if they go if we go, for example, 1-drop, right? They go 1-drop Lovestruck Beast, we go 2-drop, they go 2-drop, and then we just slap on the Drannith Magistrate in the turn where they plan to just play the Lovestruck Beast. They're also not allowed to play the Lovestruck Beast. So even though this is a 1-power creature at 2 CMC, I think it's really strong in Brawl as a 1-versus-1 format. Anyhow, the other one, because this is historic, is Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, because this can just decimate some place our opponents want to make. Example of this, we go first. We so 1-drop, opponent like opts in turn 1, 2-drop, we play Thalia, and now they cannot even play their Arcane Signet. this guy right here that a lot of decks will play. On the topic of Arcane Signet doesn't go face, so we won't include it. So now that we have like established where we want to go with the deck, I like to just fill out the curve, and the way I do this, and again, we can avoid 4-drops for now. Just put in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then creature, and see where we go from here. And I think I will fast forward a bit, but yeah, I will tell you in key moments what I think, and otherwise this will be a bit too long. So see you soon. So far we have added a few hate bears to the deck, and well, Adanto Vanguard is just really strong, and it's also one of the absolute best mutate targets for a Snapdax, because imagine that, like, you have a Snapdax that's a 3/5 and gets +2 attack when it attacks, so it's actually a 5/5 double strike that can immediately attack and pay for life to get it indestructible. Like, that's just amazing, right? The other cards, and I do have to say, I do like to add a lot of cards and then cut down later, are Eidolon of Obstruction. It's not a human and it locks down a few decks. Especially Ikoria decks are really annoyed by this. Hushbringer and Tokatli Honor Guard also add to the what's it called? To the hate bear count, right? But maybe since, yeah, I don't think Mutate is a enter the battlefield ability, so I think Hushbringer and Tokatli Honor Guard do work with Mutate in the way that they don't prevent it. Okay, so far we have added 4 black 1-drops to the deck: Diregraf Ghoul, Foulmire Knight, Gutterbones, and Knight of the Ebon Legion. Maybe I will cut Foulmire Knight later, but for now I will leave him be. And Diregraf Ghoul, it's just the 1-mana 2/2, and Gutterbones also to attack, and this is also obviously great in aggressive decks. And I'm currently considering if I want to add Brain Maggot to the deck, because as I said, we still want to kill our opponent with damage, and having too many like 1-attack creatures is not beneficial at all. But let's see where this will take us. Okay, so another comparison is Brain Maggot versus Kitesafe Rebooter, and I think I don't want too many of these effects, especially because this is a human. If this wasn't a human, I think it would just, well, been straight up better than Brain Maggot for this deck, but so far, I'm not sure if Hunted Nightmare is a good card. Let's just see. Overstated creatures are generally really nice, and obviously this is just disgusting against control because they don't even get a creature with Death Touch. So yeah, let's add overstated creatures to the deck, shall we? Speaking of overstated creatures, also Murderous Rider is just you just destroy things. It's just good, and Midnight Reaper is also like board wipe insurance. And yeah, this is as overstated as it's going to get. Also, both Swan Knight. Ah, damn it! So I thought it was a zombie for a moment because of because in the Monty Python, like, it's a Monty Python reference, and it's kind of, he always seemed like a zombie to me. But in theory, if this wasn't a human, we could mutate onto it, and it would be like if there were 4+1/+1 counters on it, it would have 7 attack, because the stats get raised from 0/0 to 3/5, and then the counters will remain. But since it's a human, I don't think I will include it. This card seems really great, because it is kind of board wipe insurance. Like, for example, we go first, right? Play our 1, 2, 3, and we can mutate onto this, but we can also mutate on the zombie army. And so if our board, like, if we build up a board, we don't play like, this just allows us to build up a big board without playing Snapdax, because if they wipe, we are left with a zombie army token, and then we can mutate onto this token, and the token has a base power and toughness of 0, so it's a 4/6 Snapdax that can instantly attack after they board wipe us, so that's really good. This card just seems absurd with Snapdax, because Snapdax is a dinosaur, so it's a Marauding Raptor into Snapdax, but we need to be careful not to, like, kill our own stuff with it, but it does seem utterly disgusting. I'm not quite sure how CMC works with Snapdax, but with Mutate in general, but I think the CMC will always be of the creature on the top. So when we have this on the board and then mutate it, I think it just gains 1 additional power. Oh, that actually doesn't seem like a great mutate target, because it's equal, not additional. So we would set Snapdax to 1 by default. But I think, yeah, it's just too good of a card not to include, and it's also board wipe insurance. Like, it allows us to push damage through and not play Snapdax, and then when they are forced to board wipe, we can Snapdax onto the satyrs. So it's a great inclusion, I think. Also, this card is triple red, and in the 3-color decks, it's way too hard to trigger. And, oh, well, to play. So I don't think I will include it. But I will include these bad boys because, yeah, good cards. Ornithopter seems like a great idea. Just, this allows us to curve out while not, while not missing, like, we can play a 4-drop, and if we put this down on the previous turn of the mutate, and then we can mutate on 5 onto this, and yeah, it's going to be great. Okay, I think we're good for now with our low end. How does the curve look like so far? Yeah, it's decent. We have a decent amount of 1-drops. I'm satisfied with that. So next up, let's filter this. There is a card that I've thought of that is still really good, right? Where is it? So, here we have it. Spawn of Mayhem. Spawn of Mayhem is effectively a 3-drop, but also, like, Snapdax kind of lowers his power, but it has double strike, so it still works, right? But holy moly, Flying Trample Snapdax? Yeah, sign me up. And it's just a good card, so we don't even have to mutate it. So, I'm thinking about including Nightmare Shepherd into the deck, just because of the fact that Water Wipes exist, because we kind of have to think about how can we lose the game, right? Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? 2 things. A big dumb green creature if we don't have removal in hand, and a big dumb board wipe if we have our hand on the battlefield and we are, like, slow to refill because we just want to kill our opponent. So what is good against board wipes? And destruction. So we're going to put a bit of those into the deck. So what we're going to do is reveal opponent hand and no creatures. So I do like Duress a lot, and I do like Agonizing Remorse, but I don't think it's reasonable to include any of the 3 mana hand disruptions. And Thought Distortion, we want our opponent dead by then, and we could just include cards like a Banefire instead to just kill them if we really need the damage. But I also won't include Banefire, so there's that. So, next question. Do we want to play Deafening Silence? I'm not sure. We could try the card, right? I just like the card, but the problem is we want to kill our opponent around turn 5 or something like that. And it's not that relevant to play multiple non-creatures in 1 turn before that, because what does blue-white do? Okay, turn 2 Birth of Meletis, turn 3 Teferi, so they don't actually play that many instant sorceries in 1 turn, and if they do, they can also split it up, like 1 in their turn and then an opt in our turn, so I don't think it matters too much. Anyhow, I think I will just go through the whole collection in general, and then I will stop at relevant cards again. I don't think we want to include Prison Realm-like effects. Yeah. I don't think this is exactly where we want to be. It's a bit too slow. So, and we are on black, so we do have a lot of premium removal available to us at cheaper mana costs. Okay, so Luminous Broodmoth seems very, very similar to Nightmare Shepherd, and maybe even better, so I'll put it there for now. I mean, I can craft Luminous Broodmoth if we really end up playing it, but like I like to put cards into the deck that I don't currently play, then cut down, and then I will see what I actually want to craft, right? So that's how I did it. Not sure if we want to play Heartless Act. Some amount of burn seems reasonable. Not sure if we want to play that though. Well, let's put it in. Also, the other great burn spell in Historic, Lightning Strike. Seems good. I don't think Lightning Call is where we want to be. If we want to play burn still, we also want to go face with it in case they don't have a creature, or we just can burn them out. I don't think Chandra is good enough. You cannot. It would be hilarious, but we could mutate onto these tokens, but then we have to sacrifice Snapdax at the end of the turn. So I don't think Chandra is too good. Plus, look at the layout here. We already have a lot of great 3-drops. And goddammit, I hate it. Game just does this and sets me to the beginning. Don't know. Do we need light up the stage? I'm not sure. Also, keep in mind we don't want too many non-creatures. Some are fine, but like if half our deck is non-creatures, Thalia will be really like annoying for ourselves. So. Not too many non-creatures. Even though I think Rekindling Phoenix is a really great evasive threat that is good against board wipes. So this is where we get to the spicy cards again. Multicolored cards are just generally like better than single color cards. So let's see what we can find in here. Chance for Glory and Resurgence, or Response Resurgence, can be really spicy cards. Like, they can just win the game. Like, obviously that's the intention when you cast them, just win the game instantly. But I'm not too sure if I will keep them. Okay, and I think this is about it. So, at this point, you noticed I have turned off the auto-inclusion right now, but at this point we kind of want to add lands. So let's see. There we go, lands. Oh, also there is this nifty filter. Oh, and one important thing is land styles. And I like to, well, obviously, like, the planes are beautiful, and these are obviously also gorgeous. But I like to shake it up a bit, so I will look for a few lands that look Mardu enough for me. Okay, here we are at the utility lands. Oh, this seems like a decent inclusion. I haven't considered that. Maybe not. Anyways, utility lands. So what utility lands are we searching for? I don't think Castle Arnvale is too great. I would consider it if it was a human. No, it wasn't non-human, but it is a human, so we can't mutate onto that. Tap lands are also a thing. We are an aggro deck, so we really want to avoid tap lands. Castle Empress is obviously good and Lockthwain also, but I think first and foremost we need to curve out, and tap lands are not the way to curve out in this game. Okay, now I've added all the checks and shock lands. Those are kind of staples for the deck. Tricolor land base is just really difficult to deal with, and if we are going to add any tap land to the deck, it will be the Triome, because it counts for the check lands, it can cycle later on, so I think we have to make some concessions. Also, Command Tower is obviously good, and I think we'll throw in a Fabled Passage, just because single mana bases are quite tough, especially if you're a 3-color aggro deck. Okay, I also don't think I will include Ghost Quarter. I do like the card, but our color requirements are really strict, so any colorless lands, nah. Too iffy, I believe. Too iffy. Okay, so here we are. We've added a few non-basics, so how many lands are we currently? 14 lands. This leaves us to 10 basic lands. I believe that is okay. 10 more basically. Yeah, I've already added a few, so let's just add a few. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and let's go with 4, right? And that should go up to 24 lands. Yeah, so now you can see we want to cut 14 cards from the deck. So glaring issues right now for me are we may even have too many 4-drops right now. If we want to play a 4-drop, we want it to be able to stick on the board to help ensure that we can push damage through. So the Broodmoth, Nightmare Shepherd, and the Rekindling Phoenix all do that. And this is effectively a 3-drop, right? But these all do that. But I think if I'm just going to play one of them, I think the Phoenix takes the cake, because the Phoenix is also just really like, I think it's just a bit better. Also, Broodmoth doesn't have 4 attacks, so there's that, and Nightmare Shepherd doesn't really give value on its own, because we're not a sacrifice deck, and yeah, I think the potential of the threat itself coming back instead of other threats coming back as a 1/1 it's a bit better. Okay, so now I'm looking at the removal suit, so I will put all the removal here for now. Right, and I would consider Lightning Strike, like, yeah, let's put it into removal. Oh, that's also like, I don't think I will cut Agonizing Rumors anyways, but let's just put all the removal here and see how much we got. Okay, so this is our removal suit right now. I do like the exile effect of Dire Tactics. Wasn't there another card that was very similar to that one? Final Payment. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I think Dire Tactics is a bit better. Also, Exile versus Destroy can be really relevant. But well, Bedevil kills Planeswalkers, so that can be pesky against one of our worst matchups, but the mana cost is just so iffy. I think we will play all of those except the Heartless Act, because I straight up think maybe, you know what, this has worse mana cost. I don't think the Destroy versus what's it called, Exile is too relevant in a short game, so I like to just have a better mana base. This is just 1 black and the other one is white black, so I think we're fine on the removal. Maybe we will cut something later. Okay, now let's check how much advantage we got going on, because yeah, advantage is nice, but too much of an advantage, card advantage, can be a bit overkill. Oh, and another thing, Considering we have these great options, I don't think we need the shock at all, and the 2 damage to the face is not too relevant, I think. So anyways, advantage. Okay, so this is our advantage. Don't think Palmar Knight is too great of a card. Like, it's... both modes are just okay for our deck, and okay is not where we want to be. We want to be at great. This kills our opponent, and a 1-1 just whittling down our opponent, even if it stage touch is not too impressive. Stormfist Crusader and Midnight Reaper are the exact cards we want to see, because those are great cards. Stormfist Crusader is also a great mutate never mind, human. But that's also a thing, right? It's a human, so it loses a bit of value there. And if we look right here, we have 33 creatures currently, and 5 of those are humans, and I still think we maybe want to tone it down. So, yeah, but currently I'm quite satisfied with this little package we got going on. Okay, so I've thought a bit, and I think we want to count the cards that are affected by Hushbringer and Tocatli Honor Guard that we own. And if there are too many already, like if there are like 10 or whatnot, we need to cut them, because it's just annoying. Okay, so these are the cards that are hampered by Tocatli Honor Guard in a bit, like in a way, but also like totally shut down by Hushbringer. And I don't think, like, some of these are really amazing, so I think I will cut them. And I will cut the Hushbringer, but at that point I'm just left with the Honor Guard as well. And this is a human that's understated, so also the cut goes to Tocatli Honor Guard. So at this point you see everything's messed up, right, like in the order, and I want to go to the view where I can just see the nice smooth curve. Okay, so I just save the deck. And I go to the deck again and open it up again, and it should all be sorted by now. Yeah, there we go. And so this looks a bit better, and we can immediately see those are a lot of 2 and 3 drops. I do like my 1-drop suit. I can see myself cutting 1-1-drop, but a lot of 1-drops are good, especially in an aggro deck. I also don't think I will see myself using Response Resurgence too much, and Chance for Glory as well, so yeah, I think I will cut them. Okay, at this point, I want to see what I want to cut as well. So we go to creatures, 31 creatures currently. 4 of those are humans. I think this is fine. So we just want to search for our 4 humans and really want to think about if they are making the cut or not. Okay, so those are our 4 humans. So, I do like those cards. Like, I really do. I think we can get away with playing 4 humans, but I think it's good, because Judith just like is so annoying to deal with sometimes. For like in a few matchups, Stormfist Crusader just keeps her hand full, deals damage to them. It's great. And Thalia and Drannith Magistrate, I've already said I really want to play them. I really want to lock my opponent out of like their game plan, and I think we will keep our 4 little humans. Another thing I will do right now is to sort all the cards by their actual CMC. So Spawn of Mayhem will usually be cast for 3 mana, skew the critics for 1, and so on. Okay, so currently I am thinking about what we can cut as well. A few problems that I can see. I think I will cut the Brain Maggot just because it's a 1-1. Like, same thing with red. We can choose something, but maybe I just really like Hate Bears, to be honest. But we already played Drannith, and I don't know how relevant this will be. also when we're cutting 1-drops, like when we want to cut 1-drops, right? We need to think about how playable are they on turn 1. For example, the Light Up and Skewer are obviously not played on turn 1, but there are also cards like that. Just in general, an example for this would be a Restless Seal. Like, this is a 1-mana card, but it's pretty much impossible to play it on turn 1, right? So I wouldn't count for that. So my amount of playable turn 1 plays, and Ornithopter is more of a turn 4 play because we can mutate onto it. But our amount of playable turn 1s are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 9 is a good number. I think we can go down to 8. I believe Moderate also plays 10 1-drops, so I think we're at a good spot. But the most cuttable one may be Diregraf Ghoul. Just because... oh no, I think the Firebrand was the most cuttable one. Just because Tin Street Dodger and Gingerbread are so amazing to mutate onto, because, yeah, making Snapdax unblockable is, yeah, supreme. Perfect. Okay, I think I will cut something from the 3-drop slot now. I am torn between Hunted Nightmare and Krenko Tin Street Kingpin. Krenko seems like one of the absolute best or worst, depending on what side your mutate targets. And it can generally just win games on its own. So I think the 3-mana 4/5s does seem really appealing. I think I will keep my eye outs in the games that I play with the deck. How relevant this card would be, right? But I think just a random mana dork will ruin my day. It's essentially only free against, like, control decks, right? Oh, also a thing I just thought about. What's the guy again? Oh, also the thing I just thought about, right? So this is basically free against control decks, but against control decks, this is not even the card that we want to see on the board. We want to see cards like Legion Warboss, where they can't just remove it with 1 card, or something that does something even when it dies, so Anax and Judith. So I don't think it's too amazing against control either, compared to our other options, so yeah, it's getting the cut for sure. Okay, not too sure if we want to keep Ornithopter, because I have a few decks. I just, in general, spoiler alert, I really love this card. But I think it has to make the cut in this deck, due to the sole reason that it doesn't do anything else, and it's just effectively a 5-drop in that sense. If Snapdax mutate cost was 4, I would consider it in a deck, but 5 is just a bit too late. And also, it doesn't have any other synergies with the deck. Like, if we don't have our commander, it doesn't synergize at all with our deck. Maybe with Judith, right? But just in general, I think it will make the cut. Okay, how relevant is the Labyrinth Raptor on our deck? I mean, it's a dinosaur, so it synergizes with the Marauding Raptor kind of a way. But how many menace creatures do we really have? Three menace creatures, so we pretty much have to evaluate this card on its own. Do we want a 2/2 with menace that is essentially unblockable, kind of? But I think we can do better. I think Relentless Raptors is maybe a bit better, just because it's so overstated. Let's cut the Labyrinth Raptor. And we're down to one last card. We'll almost finish with the deck. One thing I also didn't think about, like obviously there are not that many good mutate cards in the deck as well, like in these colors. We didn't even search for mutate at all, so let's catch up on that. So let's see what potential mutate cards we can bring to the table. So I think those are not that many, so I can go over each one. 4-drop, so no. 4-drop, so no. That's a... well, that can be essentially a 3-drop, right? Mutates other creatures. By that time we don't have too many, so I don't think we will add that. Doesn't seem to rate. Yeah, none of these really look appealing to me. I think this could be good, but it's just a 2-mana 2/2 at the end of the day. It doesn't do anything else, and we do play a 1-2-3 like game plan, so I don't think this will hit too many targets anyways. So none of these mutate creatures seems appealing to me at all. So a no on all of them. I think I will cut the Fanatical Firebrand. 8 playables on turn 1 are fine, and I simply don't know how good how well a few cards here play. For example, Relentless Raptors. If I for some reason think there are total garbage in the games that I play, I can obviously cut that and add something else back in. But for now, this is the almost final deck. So one thing we have to do now is tweak the lands a little bit. So with land base, we already added our special lands, right? And they're kind of evenly distributed. We don't have a castle in white. The castle army over here. So I like to see, like, when do we want our mana? So we want like fewer white sources than black or red sources. So what people usually like to do is look over here how much percentage mana they have, right? But this can be misleading because it shows 54% red, and we do want a lot of red, but for Rekindling Felix that's almost irrelevant because by the time we have 4 mana we likely have like our red sources anyways. So just look at the curve, how we want to play it. Also, for the sake of like this demonstration, we don't need Skewer on the 1-drop slot anymore because we don't play it on turn 1, right? So now we look at the curve, how like at the color curve when we actually play the cards, right? So let's see. We do have a bit more. Yeah, it seems this actually seems fine, right? Because we have 4 white sources, 6 black sources, 5 red sources. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So accidentally got the right ratio. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's fine. So, and this pretty much wraps up the video. Please tell me if you like this kind of content, if it was interesting or not. I also have to edit this obviously, so like you won't have all the big pauses in between, but you won't notice that at all. Also, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't done that already. I know that as I said again at the beginning of the video, that I haven't uploaded in a month, but I plan to change that. It was just a few private things here and there. And yeah, just please also comment what you think I should change about the deck before I play it in, I believe, 2 days. That seems about right? Yeah, 2 days seems like a good amount of time to give people time to comment on it, and yeah, I will see you then.